My name is Archibald Chesterfield III. I'm a YouTube entertainer and celebrity, and I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Hello, Paul Pluta, Archie Luxury channel, Paul Pluta channel. I'm the method actor, your favorite method actor in wristwatches, and today I'm doing a paid review. And before I start, remember, like, subscribe, tell your fuckhead friends, wristwatch check, IWC Engineer, and don't forget, look in the description for 10 ways you can help me stay full-time on YouTube. And this here is from Hernan. Hi Archie, hope all is well. Last time we corresponded, I told you that I completed my two-piece collection, but the vintage watch collecting scene has caught my attention. I've deposited $20 into your PayPal to answer the following questions. Number one, what do you think of vintage watches? Very good, let's go. What do I think of vintage watches? I love vintage watches. And I gotta tell you, you know, I really think myself, my favorite genre of watch is sort of something from the 90s to the noughties. I kind of like that time period. Vintage watches, you know, I think traditionally vintage is, you know, 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you know, that's kind of time frame. I love vintage watches, I really do. I suppose, you know, my interest is probably a little bit newer than vintage. So I'm probably collecting more classic watches, if you would call it that. I kind of like some of the modern pro cons on it, like the waterproofing is good, the newer bracelets, things like that there. So I kind of like modern stuff, but I've got a huge respect for vintage. Huge respect. Why don't I buy vintage? Well, the problem is, you know, I had so many vintage Rolexes in the past that I sold cheap. I had a double, what did I have? I had plastic Sea Dweller I bought and sold. I had a couple of red subs, one Box Papers one, Explorer 1 1016, 1655 Explorer 2 Orange Hand, prototype Sea Dweller. I've had some very, 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 very rare stuff which I gotta be honest with you, I stupidly sold. So I've kind of, it's a bit of a sore point. You know, it's the guy who had these cars years ago, then suddenly they're worth a fortune. Ooh, it's just hard to admit you fucked up. I love vintage. You know, you show me a vintage watch, I've got a lot of respect for it. I love them. I think vintage watches are fantastic. You've got to be a little bit careful with them. You know, if you've got a really nice condition piece, you don't want to, you know, wear the shit out of it. You want to kind of keep it beautiful. So, you know, that's the only thing. Sometimes I do like wearing them a lot. Some of the more modern pieces, but I suppose, you know, you look at some pieces I've got in my collection, the Patek 5110, that's two models ago. That's kind of vintagey, isn't it? Early 2000s. You could almost say that's getting into vintage genre. A lot of my stuff isn't current model. Yep, that's very true. So I love it's like I mean, you can have a new car, but it doesn't mean you don't love the 1960s Porsche 911 or the early 911s or the 356. You know, you can have more modern pieces, but love I absolutely love the vintage pieces. Number two, can you give your opinion of Christian Zeron from Theo and Harris, and should I purchase watches from him? Woohoo! I've never dealt with Christian. I've never bought a watch from Christian Zeron myself. he did a video. He did a video about Archie Luxury. I'll put a link in this video here. He did a video about me, which he kind of said some nice things. He really said some nice things. Look, I've never personally bought anything from him, but he seems legitimate enough. I don't see why there'd be a problem there. I've seen a few of his videos. He seems fairly passionate. He loves the watches. He seems like a reasonable guy. I don't have anything against him. I must admit, I've never bought anything from him, but he seems like a nice, likable sort of guy. I can't see why there'd be any problems. So hey, let me know how it goes. I've spoken to him on the phone. I've spoken to Christian, and he's a nice guy. He's a really not lovely kid. I got nothing bad about him at all to say there, to be honest.
We specialize in the repair of Rolex and Patek Philippe watches. We've been doing the same thing for more than 25 years. We have Rolex technicians certified by Rolex who actually used to work for the company for many years, like if we're doing the work on the factory. We completely disassemble the watch and we put it to work like brand new condition. When you get a pre-owned watch, it's like if you're getting a brand new unit. The only difference is the money.
Okay, third question. Should I purchase a Breguet Regulator 250th Anniversary Edition 36mm white gold on white dial? Ooh, very interesting. And I had a quick look on Chrono24. They're going for about the 10,000 US mark. What do I think? Look, I got to be honest with you. Breguet is a fantastic brand. The Regulator is a great watch. It's got a minute hand, big minute hand, but the hour hand is down at the 6th position. Very clever how it's done. Should I purchase it? Well, it depends what you want to do there. I mean, do you really love that watch? That's the question. I mean, it's a Breguet. A very fine Breguet. The only thing that worries me is it's 36mm, wee bit small. If it was 37, I'd say yes, grab it. But 36, it's just almost. It depends. It depends what you're buying it for. I mean, what you got to do is you got to say, I think if you bought that, it's a dress watch. It's a watch you wear on special occasions. It's not necessarily a watch for everyday use. So, firstly, I think you got to look at your collection and say, hey, this watch is a special, it's a bit like my Patek World Time. That's not really a watch you can wear every day. Well, you can, but the straps are expensive. It's precious metal. It's you know what I'm saying. It's a watch to wear for special occasions. I think the Breguet is the same way, but personally, it doesn't grab me. It just does. I'm just telling you personally. Personally, it's a Breguet. It's a great watch. $10,000 mark. It's not ridiculous for a high-end watch, is it? I tell you, I'd be going for a gold Reverso Grand. I reckon that is a cooler watch around that price point. I just think it's just wow. It's got the wow factor. Whereas the Breguet, nothing wrong with I love Breguet as a brand, but to me, I'd rather get a Reverso. Get a gold Reverso, second hand for that sort of money. The Breguet's a great watch. It's a great watch. If you really love it, get it. But if you're asking me, I don't think it's a watch you could wear every day. It's a dress watch for special occasions. Your next question is, how expensive do you think service would be on the Breguet? Okay, if you took it to Breguet, I gotta tell you, I actually sent my Breguet Transatlantic, that's the chronograph, flyback chronograph in, and it was about $1,000. It wasn't ridiculous. It was quite reasonable. So I don't think the Breguet would be crazy money. I know it's a regulator, but it's not that super complicated. So I don't think it would be crazy. You may be able to get an independent to service it for much cheaper. I don't think it'd be horrendous. I mean, any of those high-end watches, Patek, Vacheron and Constantin, AP, Breguet, you know that they're a high-end piece. But I don't think it would be that bad there. So hey, if you love it, grab it. For me, I'd rather get a gold reverso, but that's just me, and I'm being difficult. So yeah, but nothing wrong with it. Breguet Regulator is a gorgeous piece. You can't go wrong with that. So I'm Archie Luxury on the Poor Pluta channel doing paid reviews. Tell me what you fuckers think of that.